Hello friends, welcome to Geeky Rabbit. Welcome to our series on Docker. In the last session we saw that what are volumes and how we can create, assign, rename or delete it. Today let us do a hands-on on bind mounts, which is also one of the storage option available in Docker. So let us begin. Bind mounts are pretty cool. They are just a mapping of the host file or directory into the container file or directory. It is possible to specify just a single file or a directory itself. In the background, basically it's just a two location pointing to the same location, same file. This will skip the UFS, that is the union file system, and the host file will override the files in the container. Hence, it will not wipe out the host file once you delete the container. And if there are any files in the container that you have mapped the host files to, again it will skip the UFS and the host files will overwrite any in the container. As bind mounts are host specific, they need specific data to be there on the hard drive of the host in order to work, and hence you cannot specify them in the Docker file. You have to use them at the runtime when you will run a container. So now let us look at these two commands. You can see that the format here is pretty much what we used in volume. That is the -v that we used before, but the only difference here is that here we are specifying the full path before the colon rather than just specifying a name. Docker can differentiate between a named volume and a bind mount by seeing the / in the path. Bind mounts will always start with the /. One thing to note here is that in Windows you will be having two / when compared to Mac or Linux. Let us now see that how services on running containers access file from the host machine. Let's go to a repository where we have two files. So I'm already into that repository and just click ls. So here are the two files. Let us get the Docker file to see what contents it is having. In here you will see that this is for Nginx. It just specifies a working directory and copies the index file to it. Also, one thing to note here is that there is no volumes in here, and for bind mounts to work we don't need any volumes. So now launch a Docker container using this image and specify it with a volume, specifying the current working directory which will be mounted onto the working directory of the container. So let's clear this out, and we will be launching one container using this command. You can also specify dollar round braces speed present working directory in place of this if you don't know the correct path. And ahead of it, you have to just specify the path from the Docker file and the image name, that is Nginx in the case. So now let us launch the container. Once it's done, we would be launching another terminal window and we'll be checking that if we edit the file at one place, if it is reflecting in the container. So just check if the Nginx server is working, and you will notice that there is the view which we get is not the default view. So let us check it out. And if you go to 8181, so you'll see that this text is different from what we get whenever we normally launch a container with the default Nginx image. To differentiate and verify this, just open another container using the same command on another different port. So the command would be docker container run /d and name. We will give a name as container 2. We specify the port on which it will run, so it's 8989, and we'll specify the image. So now once the container is launched, go to the browser and again verify the content. So we will launch it on 8989, and that's why we are seeing it in here. So it is being observed that these two content is different, and the earlier one is a custom index file that resides in our location. So that's why this content is being shown to us. Now open another terminal window. So we'll be opening another terminal window in this. And we'll get a command line into the one of the container by using this command docker container ex/it, and we have to specify the container in which we need to go. So we'll be using container1 and we have to specify bash. So now just move into the directory specified in the Docker file, that is doc user share nginx html. And once you are in this directory, once you do an ls, you will find that the same files are in here too. So whatever the files we are having in here, so now we can, those are also present in your container. Here you can see the Docker file as well as the custom index file, because we had mapped the whole directory in case of this. Now if we make a new file in the old path, so let's make a file using vi. So we will be calling it as bindmounts.txt, and let us insert some content into it. That is, bind mount is another storage option. Okay, and let's save it. So now let's do an ls, and you'll find there are 3 files in here. Now go to the container and do an ls, and you will be able to see the same 3 files in here. So as you can see, whatever files you can edit on your host machine, or you can easily get that into your container. Now go to the browser and check for the recent changes. So if we go to this and if we specify bind mounts txt, you will notice that the Nginx server be able to see in the changes that we have just recently made. So in here you can see the same content which we had inserted into that file. So this comes up with a huge benefit for the developers, because now they just have to run the container using a bind mount, and they can edit the code on the host machine itself, which gets reflected into the container. They can also monitor the container logs to see if there are any errors with respect to coding without going into the container shell. So with this, we come to an end of this video and this series, which was on bind mounts in Docker. In the next lecture, we will be seeing few things about the Docker images. Also, do post your questions, queries, or any suggestions in the comment section regarding this video. See you soon with more Docker related content. Until then, thank you. Have a great time.